to the hype, but a lot more difficult than originally thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. Just saying that, I just literally, while I'm playing it now.
Nice.
And
I like this.
Did you take the day off from work for this?
He did.
My man, I like that, bro. All right, Randy, come run this board, brother. I'm on the way back.
I just had a 45-yard pass to what's his name? The running back, Florida. I can't even remember his name.
It just shows how excited.
If Travis can't remember a player's name, then whew, it's intense. No doubt. No doubt.
Are you sweating playing the game there, Travis? You sweating?
No, actually, I'm playing Tennessee right now, 35-0.
Okay.
What, you bump it back down to, what is it, junior varsity? I don't even know what the other levels are.
No, I'm on varsity. I thought.
Okay, varsity.
You think I was on freshman? I started on freshman, but I blew out an FCS school 93-0. So,
ooh,
I decided and I blew out Texas A&M and Miami. So I decided to bump it up a little bit.
Probably a good choice. So what have you played different modes? Like what are you playing? What has kind of brought your attention the most thus far in your 10 hours of gameplay, which is just 5 right now? And kind of Dynasty.
Dynasty is great. With the recruiting and all that, I still haven't got a recruit yet, but I've also been going after all the 5 stars and all that.
Well, you've only been playing for 5 hours, too. So.
Oh, I got a recruit verbally committed.
Verbally?
Ben Hooks out of Freeport, Florida, matter of fact.
Ooh.
4-star quarterback.
Nice.
To UCF. That took a lot of time.
Yeah, look at you. Man, you must really know how to get in there, talk to the parents, talk to the kid.
I know how to press them buttons.
That's it. That's it. Hey, come to UCF, play some football with one of the better tight ends in the country, Randy Pittman, and have some fun.
That was my whole reason of taking UCF was trying to get Randy Pittman the Heisman.
Nice.
We're about 5 games in. He's got 600-something yards, a couple of tutties to go along with it.
Averaging over 100 yards per game.
Easy. Yes.
Easy peasy. 82, 81 overall, something like that.
I think he's at 81 overall.
That's fantastic.
He's probably, been upgraded throughout the first season here, but KJ Jefferson's averaging about 2.5 picks per game, so there's that.
There's the equalizer.
I sacked KJ Jefferson like 6 times with Tyreek Sapp.
What'd you say prior to KJ? You sat him?
Sacked him.
Gotcha.
No, he sat down too.
What is
Definitely sat down.
Have you been playing Madden? Have you had Madden most years leading up to this?
Yes, and I will probably never buy Madden again.
Oh, interesting. So what in your mind, what are the big differences between this and Madden?
The realistic part of it, like it really looks like real life. I mean, it throws like real life. If a guy's not open, he's not going to catch it. You don't get those crazy catches like you get in Madden where you're like, I don't even know how that would ever happen.
Have you ever watched a live football game and be like, I can't believe that just happened?
Yeah.
All right, then. That happens in video games, too.
There you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you don't have the realistic, catching it like with his hand through his helmet kind of thing.
I had a situation last night, which I don't know if this is I don't know if this is necessarily realistic or not, but the wide receiver was in motion and got stuck on the running back and just ran and continued to run in place, and the play clock expired, so they got to delay a game for that because you can't stop the ball when someone's in motion in the backfield.
Well, that's
like
not
that.
very realistic.
Well, exactly. So I mean, it's got its issues. I will say that the motion sense of it is phenomenal. But what about the daggum cheerleaders? When are we ever going to give the cheerleaders their due? Why do they look we can make everything else look good, but the cheerleaders look like hot garbage?
Gotta opt in. Gotta opt in. That's the problem.
Oh,
another thing that's super realistic is when you're at a place like Neyland or something like that. Like I called an audible just to at the starting of the game, and nobody heard me.
Yeah.
It was like nobody heard the audible, so I had to go with the play that I ran because everybody got confused.
Yeah, very realistic there. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Like when it's loud, which is quiet now because it's 42-0. But
Sounds like you may need to bump up another level there. 42-0
Yeah.
in Neyland is, I don't know if that's realistic.
Yeah, come on up here to All-American. My goodness, that level is. I might have to drop down to varsity.
No,
to,
no,
I'm
you
not.
don't get that choice in real life.
I know.
Are there any
well, see,
brawls
I had
at all?
They've only been playing the game for like
BRAWLS?
4 days.
I haven't had a brawl yet.
No brawls.
Not yet.
Yeah.
the funny thing is, I barely beat UCF, and I barely beat who was it? Who else was it that I barely got away with? Mississippi State in Mississippi. I barely beat them. That one was hard. Like, we're talking scores at the end of the game, kind of hard on varsity. I don't know how I'm blowing Tennessee out of the water, but I'm doing it.
There you go. Well, hopefully the distractions of talking and playing at the same time won't flip the script there. But 45s would be a tough comeback there. That's for sure. Talk a little bit more about, you've been very excited about this game for a while, and here it is. Is it lived up to the hype, I guess I should say? I don't know if I've asked that already, but is it everything you expected? Any letdowns? Any surprises? What is it? Because, I mean, this has been one of the bigger releases that we've been tracking for a long time.
Well, the biggest letdown to me is Won't Back Down's not in the Florida in the third and fourth quarter. Between the third and fourth quarter, they don't have it.
Probably the
They
licensing.
they don't have the lights and all that. They do show the crowd with their phones out swaying back and forth, but the song's not playing.
Gotcha. Yeah, they
So they
probably
got it
couldn't get that
halfway.
from Petty, the licensing there to do that.
And I was thinking the same thing, and I was telling my buddy, because he was like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be on there. And I'm like, well, here's the thing is,
It's
I feel
intellectual
like
property.
an artist that passed away is a little bit more expensive, not to mention how big the song is.
Yep.
You know, that is a song that's known. Maybe not the song. I mean, the song is known, but the when you say Tom Petty, everybody from every generation knows who that is.
Jay, you know who Tom Petty is?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I knew the Heartbreakers. I didn't know Tom Petty.
You were the Heartbreaker.
No, okay. I got
It was Tom Petty and Jay Henley, the Heartbreaker.
There you go.
I wonder if Alabama has Dixieland Delight. I wonder if Wisconsin has Jump Around and like some of the other.
Wisconsin jump around pretty much confirmed on that, I believe.
Okay.
I haven't played at Wisconsin yet, so and even when I played the Tide, that was at the Bounce House. So
There you go. There you go.
I tried to play with Coastal Carolina, and I liked it. It was just,
Be careful.
I'm just too excited.
Yeah.
I had to get a bigger school with a bigger stadium and like really feel the experience of the
Bigger school.
home field advantage and all that.
Hey, that's Brooks Stadium, baby. That's the surf turf. That's the best home field advantage of all college football.
my first game was against Georgia between the hedges, and I felt home field advantage for sure. They would be. It's crazy because like for the first 2 quarters, I felt like, all right, maybe I got a shot here. It's like 14-0, and the final score of the game was like 41-3, somewhere around.
What makes it hard? Just the offense is just good.
I would say the AI.
Okay.
They kind of start adapting and reacting to what it is that you kind of get accustomed to doing. So if you're going to just sit there and pass the ball every time, at least on All-American to this point for me, like there's not, on Madden you had certain plays that would work against
Regardless,
certain defenses,
yeah.
right? If they came out in this front,
Yep.
if they came out in cover 2, I know I'm going to be able to take a post and I'm going to be able to split those safeties and we're going to work out. So you still have to read the defenses and whatnot, but you got to mix in the run game. At least that's what I've been, figuring out to this point. I almost beat Alabama, lost by 5 to them. Then I turn around when I play Texas after beating TCU and get obliterated.
Bamboozled.
Yeah, bamboozled is a good.
Hey, maybe that's a
term for it.
preview of how Alabama and Texas will be in the SEC this year.
the Boogabear.
The bugaboo.
No, they had Cincinnati in this particular dynasty is 6-0. So
All
I
right.
don't know how
That
realistic
changed.
this
That
is.
changed. Things changed there very quickly. Yeah. Go ahead, Trav.
So you do have to put it on a higher. Well, I would suggest starting on freshman to kind of get used to it because it's a lot of new stuff. The throwing mechanics is not the same. The the kicking mechanics is definitely not
That's
the same.
what David was mentioning that before the show. He said, like, if you don't learn how to do the kicking and you just dive into it, you're not going to know how to kick.
Which is how I did it. And it took me 3 games.
I missed a 57-yarder at Neyland. The freaking stadium pulse was crazy, and it was just shaking all over the place. And I not only shanked it, I don't think the kick got past 10 yards.
Wow.
Hey,
Performance anxiety is what that was.
there you go. That's 100% performance anxiety.
That's
no
it.
doubt about it. No doubt
But
about
when
it.
I had it on freshman, I just tackled the kicker. But when I had it on freshman, I had Graham Mertz going like 400 yards every game, and like he wasn't even throwing it. Like Florida has a lot of running, more running than they do passing on their playbook that I can see. A lot of jet sweeps. But one thing that happened, I don't know if this was a glitch that kept on happening or just Kelby Collins is just a big wuss. But every play Kelby Collins would come in, he would get injured. It was like injury, but it was something small. Like he would be back in the next 2 plays, but then he would get injured again. And I'd have to sub him.
Yeah, hydration. That's 100% what it was. It's July. It's hot.
Right. Yep.
Gotta
Yeah.
hydrate.
Yep.
But now, today, since he hadn't been hurt not once since I started playing today.
Solid.
Can I ask a dumb question?
There's no dumb questions, just dumb people.
We're talking about video games right now, brother.
Can you integrate Madden 25 with college
That's
football
not
25?
a dumb question. That's a fantastic
That's
question.
a wonderful question.
Yes,
Yeah.
so Road to Glory, when you create a player and you go through your 4 years, when Madden 25 comes out, you can put him in to Madden 25 and continue your career.
Did not know that.
There you go. But if
Yeah,
you're playing
they
4 years in
released that.
college, you're probably not going to the NFL. You'll probably go quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bo Nix played like 17 years, so who knows? Who knows? But yeah, how's it going now? Is Mercy Rule up there at Neyland Stadium?
49-7.
Oh, you let him score. That's not good.
I did
It's
let
because
him
you're talking
score.
to us. That's why it's a distraction.
I almost got I picked it off, and then they picked it off, and they scored off of that one.
Ooh.
That's when I tackled their kicker.
Now, what size TV are you utilizing in this game?
65-inch Samsung.
That's massive.
Oh my!
Uh-oh.
Compared to yours,
Yeah.
did you get it on the wall yet? Is it
Not
still,
yet.
still leaning?
It's still leaning.
Man,
Yeah.
it's been like a year since
Yeah.
we've talked about this.
I know.
But
Mine's on my wall.
as most normal human beings are.
Surround sound? You got some surround sound going, Travis?
I do. I got a sound bar,
Nice.
There you go.
Yes.
but
You can
this sound bar can make it sound like a theater.
You can do
I
a lot
can't
with
turn
surround
it up.
sound nowadays. All wireless,
Yeah.
Bluetooth, connect it right to your TV. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. I remember back in the day, if you wanted surround sound, it had to be wired.
Oh,
You had to
man.
figure all that out.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
Nonsense.
You have to run the wires under the carpet.
Or like if you did it the right way, go up through the ceiling and then come down and
You had the blue wire and the black wire, right? Like, I think they both connected. There was 2 wires that connected.
well, yeah, you had to have a positive and a negative, absolutely.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But that was usually red and black. Blue and black, I don't know what kind of wiring you're doing, but
Electronic engineering is not anything I'm good at.
we didn't expect that to be the case. That's
I
for
hope
sure.
you're not wiring any receptacles up soon. I'll be looking for that blue wire. Can't find that one.
Don't
You ever seen
defuse
that
any
TikTok
bombs.
Where you ever seen that TikTok where it's a pre-recorded sound, but it's a guy that's down there and he touches something and it arcs, and it wasn't supposed to at all. Like he touches like a toilet and it arcs, and he says, "Hey, who did your electric?" And they said, "Oh, my stepson did that." And he said, "When did his house burn down?" She said, "Oh, a couple years ago. How'd you know that?" He said, "Just a lucky guess."
There is an important pattern and path when it comes to doing electric wiring, that's for sure. Hey, Travis, we got to jump. We got Doc A coming up next. Don't burn your 5 hours here in the next 5 hours, but you did take off, so you might as well do it. It'll get you about till
Yeah, I got
4
to do
o'clock.
it. I should have took off Friday.
That's okay. Hey, you got all weekend to knock it out, just as long as your family's cool with it. And, then as your kids get older, they end up playing the games, and you don't even get to play them. So that's kind of how it works. Travis,
right.
enjoy the game. Have a great rest of your day.
Alrighty. You too.
Thank you. All right.
What a finish!
Yeah. Get it, Travis. Get it. Up there at Neyland. He's got to go to a tougher level. There's no reason you should be beating anybody 45-0 in your first, 10 hours of the game.
Yeah, it takes the fun out of it.
You can tell the focus that he had, though. I mean, he couldn't really. He was playing the game and trying to talk to us. I mean, that's a
It
lot.
pretty much sounded like a normal interview with Travis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion,
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and take a quick break. We got Doc A. Haven't talked to him in a while. Last week, we had some internet issues. Weren't able to get him on, but here we are back. Doc A. coming up at the next segment. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
I think the Knicks had a great weekend. They talked their superstar player into leaving over $100 million on the table.
And he said he was taking inspiration from Derek Jeter, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes to be able to ensure that you're still able to keep the core. If I'm giving up that kind of money, do I have any say?
It's the Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and partly sunny and a high of 89 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the southwest. Clear skies tonight and quite warm near 81. A variety of mostly sunshine and a likelihood of thunderstorms and 89 tomorrow. 87 and mostly sunshine in the early morning, followed by a chance of thunderstorms Thursday. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose, hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, the best place in town to take a leak.
Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. And now,
Doctor, my eyes.
Doc A joins the Inside Drive. It's just what the doctor ordered.
Oh, doctor. Talk to your doctor before use.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Said Travis had messaged me, and I'm going to send you what she said, why he sounded like that in the little last reprieve there. But it's been a long time. It's been, probably since you've almost been gone. It's like Doc A didn't, we had some internet issues. And, you weren't here. Jay's back, but right. Doc A is back online with us. Doc, how are you doing on, it's Tuesday. Have you played any?
Long time.
Long time no see, that's for sure. Or no talk.
Long time no see. Have I played any what?
I was going to say, we're asking everybody, have you played any EA College Football 25 yet? Are you part of the early release crew that we were talking to here in the previous segment?
I am not at all. I'm a Golden Tee guy, but once we got out of the old school 80s home games and you added all those buttons that it took to play Madden, I was like, I'm out. It's too much.
It's a lot. There's no doubt. That's what we're kind of talking about in the last segment as well. But yeah, it's everybody who spent the extra money or got the EA Play or whatever, they're rocking and rolling and talking all about it. But we haven't talked to you in a long time, and we got a little bit kind of to recap up a little bit. But I want to start kind of on the off topic, because that's always more fun when we're here on the Inside Drive. And I've been watching this King of Collectibles, the Golden Auctions guy, and they had Jordan's flu game shoes on there, and I think they went for like $400,000 at auction or something like that. So I know when you were coming up, you were kind of the shoe guy and always getting different memorabilia from all these NBA players. So what are some of what you think the top valued shoes that you may have? Because I know your collection is pretty awesome.
Oh, the ones that I have?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think, when we rank players in fantasy, we rank them by tier. Like, there's tier 1, which is like where your elite Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic are, and then there's tier 2. Well, in the shoe collecting world, tier 1 is Michael Jordan, and then everything falls way, way down. Sort of like with sports cards.
Gotcha.
And Michael Jordan as well. So I've never had any of my shoes appraised, or I haven't had them validated or whatever whatever they call it. But I've got game-worn, autographed pairs of shoes from Dominique Wilkins, Isaiah Thomas, Clyde Drexler, Karl Malone, Mark Aguirre, Daryl Dawkins, Akeem Olajuwon. I mean, there's several Hall of Famers in that mix.
Yeah, shoot. I mean, I remember you telling us the story about the Dominique Wilkins shoes. So that was kind of the one I was thinking about a little bit there. But I mean, shoot, just having a Hall of Famers pair of shoes. But yeah, I understand it's kind of Jordan and then drops down everywhere from there.
Now, Doc,
and honestly, I think it would cost me as much money as the collection is worth to have everything appraised, you know?
Yep.
Are they color coordinated in your closet, or do they go like, the Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue?
Kind of like Jay's outfit today.
They're in a box.
They're
big box.
Sitting
on my floor.
There you go.
Huh.
There you go. How does Roy G. Biv work again? Can you tell me the order?
Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv.
Wow. I'm actually shocked.
Griffin, Georgia.
It does, Griffin, Georgia, class of 98. It does tell you, though, with the acronym, what that should be. So I'm proud of you for getting that. That was solid.
Yep.
All right, Doc, we're a couple weeks away from the start. Well, actually, we'll be a week from Friday, the opening ceremonies in the Summer Olympic Games. Obviously, USA a heavy favorite in this one, that's for sure. But there's some other good NBA players on some of the other teams. The French team's got, Wemby and Rudy Gobert, and they took care of business against Canada in exhibition, but a little bit closer than some might have thought. But Canada's got a good team as well. I think they played Australia last night, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't actually see.
And barely won.
And barely won. So that brings me to a question. What do you think? What are the expectations for the U.S. Olympic team this year?
I don't know, man. It's really weird. I tweeted last night. I don't know if you saw it, but I was like, I've never seen this much drama and controversy surrounding a Team USA basketball team ever before. And, Jaylen Brown's all ticked off because he didn't get on the team, and now he's caught on camera last night dissing Bronny James, who's now 0 of 15 from three-point land, but that's another story. And then you've got Steve Kerr and Team USA removing Kawhi Leonard from the team, and you have this whole conspiracy theory, although in today's age, a conspiracy theory is usually what's really happening.
Yeah,
so,
we've learned that very quickly.
Nike is supposedly selecting only Nike guys to be on the team. I think there's only 3 guys that aren't Nike guys on the team, and Jaylen Brown is not a Nike guy. So there's all this weird stuff going on, and Steve Kerr has lost, in my opinion, he's lost a bit of his luster. I think USA is going to roll through the Olympics and win gold, but the fact they only beat Australia by 4, and some of these teams look pretty good. Like that team they played a week ago that I watched. The first game they played, I can't even think of who the team was. Yeah, Canada's loaded up with NBA stars, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So, I mean, anything's possible. Let's just say it doesn't seem like it's very harmonious so far.
And kind of that's, obviously you had the dream team and the redeem team and all those. And, Olympic basketball is very different, the game, as far as how it's played, the court, the ball, the 3-point line, all that stuff. And Olympic basketball is just a different style of basketball. And do you think that's, obviously we have the best talent in the world. There's no doubt about it. But you have to mesh as a team to be successful in the Olympics. And USA's got the target on their back. They are going to get the best from every team they play, whether they have NBA players on it or not. So do you think anything...
And also,
God.
Joel Embiid looks way out of place with this group of players. Like, everybody on this team is really fast and scrappy. And if you watch them play when Embiid's out on the court, like it's almost like he's just clogging the whole thing up. And I that's got to be bothering people. And when you watch it, you can see it. A game against Canada, I think he fouled out in like 8 or 9 minutes, something ridiculous with very little production. And I don't know, man. I do not think Joel Embiid is a good fit on this team, and it makes me. I'm sure the Sixers aren't happy that a guy that's injured every single season is now going to play all summer long in the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just so tough. You take all these; they're all superstars. They all, are the stars on their team. I mean, the Celtics, you got 3 players on there, so you got some natural chemistry on that. But it's tough when you've got so many superstars, so many individuals, but they all got to come together to win the Olympics.
Well, and then my thought on this is you've got all these sports in the Olympics. I mean, America should be number one. To me, basketball should be number one. We should win the gold medal every year. I mean, every 4 years.
We do pretty often, but there's been times where, you get a team that sneaks up. And like he was saying, you got, SGA on Canada. You go over to France. I mean, you got, Victor Wembanyama on there with Rudy Gobert. And then all these other guys that, they may be superstars in their country or whatever, but they're not superstars in the NBA and on an NBA team and making the NBA money. So you sometimes see that little David versus Goliath. But when David has, the chemistry and the will to win, DJ Davy Crockett's a prime example of that.
But there you go.
Let's not forget that the 2 best players in the NBA are named Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, neither one of them on Team USA. Hey, it's, you never know. Maybe worth, I think USA is like minus 470, 450, something like that to win gold. But then it drops off pretty big up from there. But you never know. They got to play the game, right, Jay?
They do.
Right. But anything other than a gold medal, of course, would be disappointing for Team USA. No doubt about that. We haven't had a chance to talk, and this has happened a long time ago. Obviously, with Dan Hurley staying at UConn, that was originally rumored to go to the Lakers. He got a $50 million 6-year extension up there at Connecticut, trying to win a 3rd straight national championship. J.J. Redick gets his first head coaching gig with the Los Angeles Lakers, which are kind of in a little flux right now. They obviously drafted Bronny James, but what are your thoughts on the Lakers? The coaching situation, LeBron, Bronny, like where do they kind of go from here?
One of their big beat writers, one of the Kaminsky brothers, tweeted out last night. He goes, "Well, this USA team is really boring, but at least they're not very good." And no, did I say Team USA? I meant Lakers Summer League team is not very good, but at least they're boring or something like that. And it cracked me up because, most teams are kind of excited about their summer league team because it's all your young players and your future, and you're developing talent and seeing what is happening. And the Lakers are just a disaster down there. And Bronny James, like I said, there's controversy as to whether he should be in the NBA. There's controversy as to whether he should even be drafted. And then he signs that big contract, and now he's down there shooting bricks. He's 0 of 15 from downtown, I think. And then, there's all this stuff on Twitter lately about LeBron. He's a dictator, and, it's his way or the highway, no matter who the coach is or who his teammates are. Like, if it's whatever he says goes. He has so much power. So, I mean, all I can say is good luck, J.J. Redick, and LeBron and Anthony Davis better stay healthy the entire season, or this whole thing is gonna end really poorly for LA.
Well, and it's kind of a gamble for JJ, right? Like taking his first head coaching job with the Lakers. I mean, what if it's an absolute disaster? He's probably not going to have another opportunity, to coach again in the future. I mean, I could see that happening, and maybe not, but it's almost like he didn't want to be a coach, and he's like, okay, I'll coach the Lakers. If it doesn't work out, I'll go back to being a podcaster and all that. Whatever I want to do. So I mean, but maybe not. Maybe he thinks this is his ticket to getting some coaching success. But I just don't see how that could be. Like you said, if LeBron and AD don't stay healthy, which odds say that they won't, it's going to be a tough sled for the Lakers. That's for sure.
Well, the money's so ridiculous now. I mean, if I was JJ Redick, I'd be like, yeah, I'll take the $80 million. I don't have any idea how much I'm paying him. I don't pay attention to that, but I'll take that. And if it doesn't work, I'll just go back to what I was doing before and have all that money in the bank. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doc, I'm still thinking about all these basketball shoes that you have in your closet. It's just, I don't know, it's amazing to me. But so you got, what's the oldest pair of shoes that you do have? Does it still look like they do back in the 80s, or they've gotten a little crusty over time, or, I'd like.
No, they all look pretty good. Some of the ones with some, the like rubberish material in the tongue or vinyl, some of that stuff is sort of disintegrating, but the soles of them are all pretty good. The leather is still white and looks good. The shoes are dated, though. I mean, when you look at the 30 pairs of shoes I have sitting on the floor, 40, whatever it is, they are clearly way out of date. And then you'll even see some where you're like, oh, man, I forgot they even did that. Some of the Wayman Tisdale's Reeboks are pretty funny because you don't see those every day. And the other thing that's crazy is a sign of how old I'm getting is, a lot of these guys that I have collected stuff from are dead. And I got this stuff from them when they were in their prime.
Yeah.
So that's kind of weird. Like Wayman Tisdale and Danny Roundfield and Daryl Dawkins, and there's some others where it's like, I don't like it. I don't like it when these guys die and I've got their stuff.
Do you have a pair of Chuck Taylors in that closet by chance?
I don't, but I've got it close, man. George Johnson, who played for the Pacers back in the day, the G-Man, they called him. He gave me a pair of canvas ponies that are absolutely ridiculous. Like if I brought the shoe to you and said, do you think somebody ever played in this? You'd be like, no.
Wow.
There's no way. And then Dudley Bradley gave me a pair of low-cut Nike Bruins, which was the very first leather Nike shoe that came out. They were the ones I had, my first pair. They were low-cut red leather Nikes, and that's what he was wearing in the NBA. And it's crazy the lack of technology these guys had, because and you have all these guys missing time now with ankles and feet, and I can't even imagine how brutal it must have been for those guys to play all those games in Chuck Taylor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's something you don't really think about, but yeah, and you don't you think of a shoe and you don't think of technology, but it's true. I mean, everything that these guys are using is newer technology, so to speak, and should be making them better, faster, stronger, more resistant to injuries. And maybe just like a lot of sports, back in the day, people were just a lot tougher and they just dealt with injuries.
Well, if you think about like a 1987 Ford F-150 truck or whatever it is, that
was very specific, but yes, I like it.
But they're heavy, right?
Oh yeah,
I can imagine
just metal.
I can imagine these 80 shoes that he has that they're probably like super heavy, right?
No, it's like the old FootJoy Classics with the wooden soles.
Oh,
those things weigh like 2.5 pounds a piece.
Yeah.
You walk 2 holes in those things and your feet are
pretty
bleeding.
heavy.
Oh yeah,
they're pretty heavy.
Yeah,
and that makes it even harder. I mean, every shoe in this day and age for whatever sport, even just your normal cross trainer or running shoe, tennis shoe, whatever we're calling it in this day and age, is so much lighter.
Yeah,
but still has the same performance. And yeah, I mean, heavy shoes. Yeah, FootJoy Classics. I remember those with the wooden soles.
I do too. Brutal.
It was cool when they had the metal spikes and you walked and they made the sound when you were walking on concrete or asphalt. But man, you take those bad boys off, and it was just part of it. Yeah. You just knew your feet were going to hurt after.
Brooks Koepka loves it when you walk on the sidewalk with metal spikes.
Right.
Did you see this is completely off topic. Did you see he in the Live event he was playing with Rahm and Sergio Garcia, and obviously it was the Euros, the final that Sunday, and he was wearing an English jersey out to the first tee.
Nice.
But then obviously Spain won. But you don't see that on the PGA Tour.
No.
Some ribbing. That's good stuff.
Black
Are we gonna
saddle or
talk a
brown
little-
saddle?
Go ahead, Doc.
We gonna talk a little British Open, or you got more NBA stuff?
No, hey, we can talk some golf. We'll run a little long in this segment. I'm good with that. What do you? Jay's favorite major championship is this championship. So, what about you, Doc? It's the going back to the roots of golf, the original link style course. You get to watch it in the morning over here, which is even more fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I prefer the Masters and the U.S. Open just because. I don't know why. I
The
just
Masters
love,
just has that allure about it.
I love that. And I love the fact the U.S. Open is usually so really like they set the course up so tough.
Yeah.
That I enjoy watching guys play sort of like I do on an easy course.
I hear that.
But I love the British Open. You know, my man Tommy Bjorn, I've told that story on here before.
Oh, yeah.
He almost won a British Open one time.
Yep. That's your boy, old Tommy B. But who you? I mean, obviously Scotty Scheffler is probably the heavy favorite. I haven't really looked into the odds yet, but you know, who you liking outside of Scotty that may have a chance there? I'm thinking. I know Ludwig had a tough final round at the Scottish
that's
Open.
what I was gonna say.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ludwig Aubert. It's just such a fun name to say as well. But yeah, the Swede.
No, that's what I was gonna say. He's sort of my sleeper pick. I know that he struggles on Sunday. Like he's a terrible Sunday scorer, and everybody's saying there's no way he'll be able to hang on Sunday. But man, he looks good. I'm kind of fired up about him, and I also like Tony Finau.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for him to get a major. He's just such a good dude.
Well, and that's the thing with me is like Wimbledon and the Open, it's so regal to me. You know, I mean, Wimbledon, you know, and that's it, like whenever they say like game 23 or something, I mean, well, you just don't get that over here in the States.
Yeah, like when they're teeing off.
Yeah,
it's the original form of golf.
It is.
Before it was Americanized.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually proud of you for using the word regal on the show today.
Yes, sir.
That's coming outside of your Griffin roots,
It
right?
sure
there. I don't think
is.
you ever said the word regal growing up in Griffin.
Nope, did not.
But yeah. But hey, and Royal Troon, great place over
Maybe if he was watching wrestling and was watching William Regal.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, there we go.
Or you went to the Regal Cinemas. I don't know if they existed back then, but or if they had one in Griffin.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, are you going to get up bright and early, Doc? And I know you're kind of a night owl anyway, but you're going to get up early and watch some coverage there of the Open Championship. Nope.
Uh-oh.
We lost Doc.
Yep.
The segment technically was over, so maybe we did lose him. Or he didn't like your Regal comment.
Oh.
Hey, I'm still here.
There he is.
I don't know what happened. I lost you guys, but I know it's time to kick me out, so I just want to shout out Tiger Woods for snapping back at Colin Montgomery.
You just teed up a perfect segue for me because I was going to have David play that clip in the next segment. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for coming on. Enjoy the Open Championship, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. It's good to hear from y'all again. See you next time.
Great to hear from you, Doc. Have a great rest of your day. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
Carlos Alcaraz, I believe the stage is set for him to become the next great one in the sport of tennis. Carlos Alcaraz is the best tennis player in the world today. That's not a hot take. That is an obvious statement of fact. Right now, of the athletes who we would describe as abnormally young, as freakishly young, whose future would you bet on before you would bet on him?
Greeny. Weekdays on ESPN Northwest Florida.
At Brock Lawn and Pest Control, we're proud to be awarded the distinction of being Quality Pro certified.
Our technicians have passed rigorous training in eco-friendly application and prevention of pest treatments.
Part of the program is the practice of integrated pest management.
IPM's goal is to prevent pests from ever entering your home. It includes inspection, prevention, education, and, when necessary, application.
We're proud to be Quality Pro certified.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control, the standard and level of trust.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
From the beach to the bay to the backyard, it's the Inside Drive from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
I've got sand in my underpants.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Keeping David on his toes back there.
Yes, sir.
I was kind of paying attention, kind of not paying attention, but here we are. So funny that Doc A said the thing about Monty and Tiger Woods. So, Jay, I know you have not heard this yet, correct?
I have not.
Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and play it real quick, and then we can talk about it. It's coming. He's working on it. He's a man of many times.
There's no point to this. Do you feel that's a bit hurtful and you've earned the right to you make the decision when you decide?
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
That's, I mean, you've earned that. You've deserved it.
So when I get to be at his age, I still make that decision. Well, he doesn't.
Next question here.
Last one.
What do you think, Jay? It didn't say what Monty said. Let me see if I
You
can.
should retire. There's no point to this, essentially.
Yeah.
Colin Montgomery said you should retire. There's no point to
He
this.
said, aren't we there? I'd have thought we were past there. Montgomery told the Times of London, there's a time for all sportsmen to say goodbye, but it's very difficult to tell Tiger it's time to go. Obviously, he still feels he can win. We are more realistic. That was the official quote there from Monty, and then Tiger responded with, well, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Monty's not, citing that he never won the major, and he said, I get to choose when I want to retire or not.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, so I'm also reading some stuff about Ryder Cup captain. So he declined being a Ryder Cup captain.
Yeah, and then Keegan was the one that got it. He just basically said, with everything he's doing with the PGA Tour, focusing on his game, he just doesn't feel like he could do what needs to be done to be a Ryder Cup captain.
And this conversation is due to the Open Championship this week, as far as him playing or not playing this week,
or just Monty basically saying like you need to hang it up. Is what Monty's saying.
Okay.
And that was Tiger's response.
I got you.
So.
And then he came back and Monty was like, I see what you're saying.
He just basically said, you never won a major. You don't get to decide that. I do. I'm exempt till I'm 60.
Tiger put him right in his place, as he should.
And he can put him in his place even more if he makes the cut this week at the Open.
Yes, sir. And he's got a good, I would say he's got a decent chance at it.
I think if there was one out of the four majors that, the Masters obviously is one, that's for sure. He has a better chance at the Open. It's typically not as demanding of a golf course when it comes to a walk. You know, if the weather gets real bad, that could make it a little tougher. But Masters, as we talk about, very undulated. PGA Championship was, very undulated.
Right.
And then obviously the U.S. Open was just absolutely brutal. And, that's tough for anybody to play in that one.
Well, he developed the stinger. And, if you got a lot of wind over there, and I know he still hits those stingers, but, I mean, the ground's hard. It rolls out, 40, 50 yards. I mean, he's got a chance. I mean... this isn't his first rodeo, so
absolutely. He's always got a chance, and I do think when he doesn't think he's got a chance, that's when he'll kind of maybe take a step back. But do you think his ego and being one of the best golfers to ever step foot on the planet Earth? Do you think that will get in the way of him making that decision? Do you think it's already got in the way of making that decision?
I think it already has.
Yeah. So you kind of agree with Monty then a little bit.
Yeah. But he can though. I mean, he's was number one in the world for what, 20 years?
Forever. It seemed like, yeah. No one ever touched that record, probably. Just like I don't think anybody ever touched Jack's major record. But,
yeah. But we'll see. I mean, I know that he's involved with the PGA Tour, and I don't know to what capacity.
Well, he's
I think he's like a vice president.
Well, he's on the board. He's on that PGA Tour policy board or whatever.
Right.
So, which the one they kicked Rory off and then wouldn't let him come back on.
Yeah.
So.
But we'll see. Maybe that we're getting closer to trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. I mean, here we are. Thought there'd be something by the first of the year. Here we are, over halfway through the year, and I think we're even further apart than we ever were.
Yeah.
As each tour kind of continues on their separate path. That's for sure. I hadn't had a chance yet to talk about the Home Run Derby recap. I didn't know we as the game was starting, we were playing flag football and didn't really catch any of it. But I didn't hear about the whole national anthem thing until you told me when we got into the studio today.
Yeah, it was not good.
That was tough.
Yeah.
I mean, what was worse, that or Roseanne Barr?
Oh, what happened with Roseanne?
You don't remember Roseanne singing the national anthem?
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh,
no.
It was bad.
Was it?
Oh, David's got a clip. I just feel so bad for her. Take off your hats, gentlemen.
She put herself in this position.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe it's just the speakers at the old ballpark over there in Arlington. I read a comment from this the other day, or last night. Like, this version of the national anthem made Colin Kaepernick stand up.
Oh man!
I mean, talk about a different pitch. I mean, that's a different
pitches.
That's a screwball.
Pitches. That's a combination of a lot. Yeah, just tough guy. And the national anthem, they always say, is one of the hardest songs to sing live. But you would think
Because people try to do too much with it. Just sing it how it's supposed to be sung. Like, let's take a page out of the Canadian books. Like, let's have someone kind of get those first two stanzas going or whatever. Then after that, let's all sing it together as a group. Yeah. Like, look at Columbia the other night, right? Yeah. When they were doing their national anthem, bro, it was like, I see why y'all was rushing the Hard Rock stadium there, man. Like, y'all really care about this stuff, and I think that we've kind of gotten away from that, and people some people just want to use the anthem as artillery, if you will.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, and that's a good point, just sing the song. But shoot, that was a tough go.
Yeah, I'm not a singer, as you guys know.
No, you are. We've heard it. You're a good country singer.
I feel like if you've got it in the beginning, it's got to start right to end right. And boy, I mean, it just never started right.
That's a life quote right there. We got to start right to end right, brother.
Right.
There's another one for the T-shirt.
Yeah, that's it.
Got to start right to end right, and that is so true. And you could say that with golf a little bit too. Although they say you don't want to bury the first hole, it's a bad omen, but you also can't bury them all until you bury the first hole.
Amen to that.
Got to get off to a good start. It's just kind of one of those things precursor in life that starting is important, but maybe it's not. I don't know. But in this scenario, absolutely.
Do we want to hear Roseanne Barr's?
Yeah, just real quick. Just a little comparison so Jay can remember this. Now, Roseanne Barr's was more like, we knew that was going to be the case because it was Roseanne. This person, Ingrid, what was her name? Andress. I've never heard of her, but obviously she is a vocalist, a singer.
Yeah.
And maybe she just, the nerves got to her. I mean, performance anxiety.
Yes.
That's a home run derby. You're in Texas, however many people in the packed out stadium. Millions watching on TV, and tough go.
Roseanne sounded like she was screaming at Darlene.
Oh, she was. What's the other one's name? Darlene and...
You got this. No, I don't.
You do.
I just like old Darlene was a
John
good character.
Candy.
John Goodman. Yeah, John Goodman.
Both have passed away.
Darlene. No, wait, say what? No, because Goodman still got the Roseanne. That's
he's still kicking.
Because he was in the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, Candy's the one that passed away.
Now, is Roseanne Barr? Is she?
Yeah, but they kicked her off the show because she's has
the other one I believe was
Jackie.
Jackie
Becky. I'm just reading off of a list of names.
Jackie was the police officer's sister. That was Rose.
Yep.
Roseanne's sister.
There you go. But hey, a tough task, but Next time, hopefully, I don't think she's going to get the call and do the national anthem again. That's for sure.
Well, here's the other thing. I've never heard her sing anything
Yeah, me
before
neither.
either. Maybe
Yeah, no.
she that's her type of music where it's heavily influenced by tunes that are automated. So.
Yeah, she was using Smule growing up.
Well, I mean, you'd be. I lie. I was gonna say you'd be surprised, but I mean, I think that's kind of the industry standard these days. Is a lot of these people can't really sing. They
Pure
just have
vocalists. Yeah,
they're just marketable.
Yeah. Well, her marketability just went down a little bit, or depending on how you market it,
publicity, baby.
She go out there and
good
sing
or
national
bad.
anthems for
Well, I came on the show a year ago thinking that I knew sports talk, and then I found
Did you?
out. Yeah, I did. And
Wow.
then I found out, like, after day 2, I'm like, ooh, I don't know anything about sport.
It's just a little about a lot.
There you go.
That's all it is. And the internet is a wonderful thing to find information at your fingertips.
Yeah, who needs that?
Yeah, you don't. What you got?
He's always like a segment behind us on what he's Googling. He's kind of like, when I went to Russia, they were like 3 or 4 decades behind us. I felt like technology-wise. Every time I look over at Jay's computer, I'm like, we were talking about that like 20 minutes ago, bro.
Well, you see what he's got on his white pad in his portfolio there, right?
Probably nothing.
No, he's got a little doodle.
Is it a shoebox?
No. So when we were talking to Doc A, I was like, you know what? He's a big basketball player, so I drew a basketball goal, and it's
There
a
it
great
is.
one, isn't it?
I was actually quite impressed, and
Because you know what it is right off the rip, right?
right off the rip, and I can see the ball. I mean, that's a motion drawing. That's not that's not a static drawing. I can feel the flip book.
Yeah.
Those were good times. Draw the stick figure slowly, but it just takes so long.
It does.
But that's impressive.
Thank you.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
I was going to talk about the recap of the Home Run Derby, but we kind of went off on a national anthem. But it's okay. It's okay. I'll mention a couple quick things. We had the over-under yesterday, I believe, was 269.5 for total home runs hit. What do you think happened over-under?
Under.
Under did hit at 225. Yes, 225 home runs.
That's the record. 225 is now, because last year was. I meant to text you guys this yesterday. Smashed the under because the record before was 221. When do odds makers ever
have such a big jump?
Yeah, 229, 221 to 269.5 or whatever it was. My goodness.
I wish I would have jumped on that one. Then they would have hit even more. So that's kind of how it goes. And then I think what was the? I think it was 469.5, if I'm not mistaken, for the total distance, and that was
The longest distance?
Yeah,
or?
Longest distance.
I think it was like 484 or something.
484.
Like that. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say Marzuno hit that, but he hit one 473 in his first one there, and then so let me see if anybody broke it then.
The longest home run in home run derby Statcast era here is Aaron Judge with 517.
That's insane.
At Miami's ballpark.
Yeah, Marcel hit the longest home run because it has everybody's longest one. He hit the longest home run of the event at that 473 feet. You also had who hit Teoscar Hernandez. He ended up winning the whole thing, right? I believe. But anyway, he hit one 466, and Ozuna, like I said, hit one 473 with an exit velo of 110 miles an hour. But when we get back, it'll be time for our afternoon delight debrief. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
For 7 years, ESPN Northwest Florida has been your destination on the Panhandle for the Atlanta Braves.
He just blew the doors off that thing.
But our listeners are the real MVP.
Another dominating performance.
So this year, we're giving away more tickets to Truist Park than ever before. Keep listening to win family 4-packs to experience the Atlanta Braves. From ESPN Northwest Florida, PCB Hobby, Pepsi, Fairfield, Hampton Inn on Thomas, and Home 2 Suites.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, possible thunderstorms and partly sunny and a high of 89 with wind to 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the southwest. Clear skies tonight and quite warm near 81. A variety of mostly sunshine and a likelihood of thunderstorms and 89 tomorrow. 87 and mostly sunshine in the early morning, followed by a chance of thunderstorms Thursday. This is your Tuesday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
And now, the afternoon delight debrief with the three degenerates from the Inside Drive. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Afternoon delight.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Skyrockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe along the beautiful Forgotten Coast. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Which, if you don't know what Twitch is, Jay, it's a streaming service. And a lot of people will stream their live action on video games, and you can watch it right there on Twitch. Because what's better than playing video games yourself? Watching somebody else play video games. And, of course, we got to, where's everybody download our free mobile app? We haven't even talked about that yet today.
Google
Are you gonna remember?
Play or Apple Store.
That's right.
And you've got to put in that 104.3.
You got to drop it. Nice. You got to drop that
you gotta
104.3 in there. We're working on some QR codes, too, to make it a little bit easier for you. QR code, TV, a couple other things sent over, and we'll be on our way. Haven't seen it yet, but that's okay. Also want to thank our studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor, the mecca of boat and car dealerships right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. GM side of things, tons of new vehicles in stock. The 24s are getting some serious incentives as we're getting ever so closer to the new car year, as it's just like video games. That's why EA College Football 25.
Yeah.
You start bringing in the 25s in 24. Like, we're just always ahead. Like, why do we need to be ahead? Why can't they release the 24 in 24?
That makes it so, whoa.
Right?
I'm trying to figure this out.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's wild.
It is.
Like, why are we, like, and video games have always done it. Like, it's going to be Madden 25, but it's not 25, Jay.
No.
It's 24.
The present is a gift.
Yeah. And the past is...
By the time the season's over, though, it is 2025.
Thanks, David. We didn't know that. Appreciate it. But what about the cars? What about the car situation? Releasing 25s and 24s. It's not 25.
That is ridiculous.
It's
that
a blasphemy.
I'm not... Yes, we can use that word there. That's absolutely fine.
For just in that scenario.
It's redonkulous.
It is. But anyway, the 25s are coming out, and great incentives on 24s.
Forward to the future.
That's it. We're always looking to the future instead of embracing the present, Jay.
That's right.
You said it. Can't change the past.
Nope.
We can mold the future, and you can embrace the present.
Yes, sir.
But they do have some of them 2025s over there. Bill Kramer. Y'all go check them out.
There you go. There you go. Roll Tide. But yeah, the incentives on the 24s are rocking and rolling. They got great used cars. They got express service, regular service tires at cost. Another weekend of fishing coming up. The season's getting closer to being over. And if you want to get a little summer fishing in before school starts, or just going out to the island or tooling around, seeing the sunset, dolphins, manatees, sea turtles, tarpon, whatever your fancy is there, Jay Henley, you got to have a boat or a friend with a boat, and you or your friend needs to go to Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They sell Seabourn, Sundance, Spider, and Skeeter, all right there at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com. If you need your boat fixed up, they'll do it for you. They even come to your house and do it for you. Get you back out on the water ASAP. Again, you can check both of those fine establishments, our studio sponsor, for a little over a year now, right there at the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd Street. Didn't have a chance to mention it in the first segment today because we jumped on the line real quick there with Travis, but I got to wish my dad, Gucky as my kids call him, Dan Mulvey, a happy 83rd birthday. He's rocking and rolling, 83 53 years young, looking fantastic. He was out at the flag football game yesterday. So happy birthday, Gucky. Appreciate everything you've done for, obviously, me, the kids, our family, all that good stuff. So,
yes, sir.
July 16th. I always remember that day.
Yes, sir.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Gucky. Happy birthday. All right, countdown, too. I didn't mention that in the first segment. Can you remember what it was yesterday? How many days till the start of the NFL season?
Oh, boy. Yeah. 60. Let's go 60.
This is going to be a test for you every day.
63.
No, you're further off today than you were
54.
yesterday. Oh, you got closer. I'll give
48.
Okay, it's 50.
All right.
50 days, 11 hours, 56 minutes, and 5 seconds. All right, you can do this one. The college football side of things. How many days? And I waited after the first hour because the time frame switches while we're on the show from one day to the next.
Week 0, I'm going to go 32, 33.
Well,
38.
Yep, yesterday it was 39, so today it's 38.
Okay.
See if you can remember that. We got 50 and 38, but I might trick you up because if I do it at the beginning of the show, it's still going to be 38.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Little fun fact there.
All right.
But yeah, 38 days, 23 hours, 55 minutes, and 32 and counting seconds till college football gets started. Good stuff there. You got any afternoon delight debriefs there?
I've got one.
All right, kick us off.
All right. So this happened in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Ooh.
You know, things get a little dicey up there.
Oh,
in
yeah,
Charlotte.
especially recently with the fight there between the Uruguayan players and the Uruguayan players and the Colombian fans.
Okay,
Sorry.
that happened in Charlotte.
That did. Bank of America Stadium.
This also happened in Charlotte. A waitress was fired after posting a TikTok video of a man having dinner with a blow-up doll.
Why'd she get fired for that?
I
The guy
know.
Clearly wanted attention.
This is crazy. I mean, like, the dude is eating a chicken sandwich. The blow-up doll's eating, it looks like a Caesar salad.
Watching the figure. Understand.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. But the article reports a waitress who was fired from her job at Restoration Hardware in Charlotte after posting a TikTok video showing a man with a blow-up doll at the store. The video went viral, leading to the waitress's termination.
What's the name of the place she worked at?
Who cares?
It says
Cancel them.
Restoration Hardware.
That's what.
So,
Like,
What kind of a restaurant is that?
I don't know.
So
We
she,
eating nuts and bolts over here.
so she's
My
a wait.
goodness.
So maybe she's got 2 jobs.
Maybe so. Yeah, she could. But
So she got fired from the Restoration Hardware or from the restaurant?
I mean, it seems like she got fired from the restaurant.
yeah, she said waitress's termination. Yeah.
You would think that restaurant would have embraced the viral video and capitalized on that.
Right.
I mean, what a world
But
we
they
live
do.
in.
They still, even regardless if they
She dressed up appropriately.
She did.
they still get the publicity and all of that. They just also kind of get the
negative.
high. We took the high road and got rid of the person who did that.
That's
But
taking the low road.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, yes. I don't know.
It's a tricky one.
It is. I mean,
The question is, though, who paid for the bill?
Blow-up doll.
Yeah, right.
Easy.
You're sitting on lots of that green.
yeah.
Well, or was the blow up doll there getting paid by getting dinner?
Ah, yes. Like
True.
Yeah.
And how much can a blow up doll eat before it starts vomiting?
True.
The digestion. I mean, they do have the way for it. It does have holes for it to come out, so they could digest the
No
greens.
colon. It's just a straight up bag.
That's it. That's it. Appreciate you bringing this up. Man, so she got canned. All she did was post a video.
That's it.
Or is it a video or a picture? It was a TikTok,
Yeah,
so
but
it's probably
it's
a video.
TikTok.
Like that's.
It's like an invasion of somebody's privacy.
I
Like,
mean, I guess the fact that you're in a public place.
you brought a blow-up doll to a restaurant. You clearly
is-
want attention.
Also fair. That is also fair. But what if there's just not something totally right up there?
I think we can all agree that yes, that's the case in this scenario.
So I don't know, man. It's
Jay, don't you bring one here and put him in studio with us tomorrow.
Well,
okay?
then don't fire me when it's on video.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
He's out on a date. I mean, he wanted to take
A little privacy.
Yeah, so I can understand. He wanted some privacy.
Sure.
I still don't understand the hardware correlation of this
No.
particular story.
Yeah.
We haven't got the nuts and bolts of that one down
We
either,
have.
So
We have it.
I've been able to use that reference twice.
Yeah, in the last 3 minutes.
Hey, How about this one real quick?
Oh, yeah.
I like this one.
If you like it, I like it.
All right, so it's like 150 degrees outside, right? So tips on conserving energy for the week. 78 degrees when you're home.
I've heard some people say, like, put it in the 80s when you're not.
Yeah, 85 when you're away.
It's good for your dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. 82 when you're sleeping. Are you kidding me?
No,
You got to sweat the toxins out. Man, where do y'all keep it at?
not 82.
Oh, I'm around 94, but
You just don't turn it on.
I like to be prepared for the summer days.
Yeah.
Just know I'll let the entire power grid go down and ruin all y'all's lives before my thermostat is set at 78 degrees.
Man, I've seen similar things to that, and it just kind of, I mean, we have air conditioning for a reason.
Yeah.
And I probably told this story when I was working at a club on the Jersey Shore. It was an internship, and after my second time up there, I was staying at a guest house on the Jersey Shore, a couple blocks from the beach, and like they got the main house where the people live, and then they have a guest house which had multiple floors and lots of different people staying in it, and it was very, very affordable. They gave me a good rate for the summer, and it was in a really fun area, not too far away from the golf club. Anyway, they didn't have central air in the guest house, and you weren't allowed to put a window unit in because the wiring in the building was so old. So if you plugged one of those in, it would short the entire building, and then you had a big issue. So even in the summer in New Jersey, it gets into the 90s with a lot of humidity.
Ooh.
And I used to call that the sweat box. You just go to sleep and just sweat. Because even if you have a fan, you're just moving really hot air at that point. So,
And the sheets stick to you.
I mean, if you use sheets.
Why are you using sheets at that point?
I was just like a vampire trying to stand up and sleep.
God, that
You
sounds
got to get 3 sheets to the wind to be able to sleep.
Luckily, working, and that's why I didn't stay up there and continue working, because you worked 7 days a week and you went out all the time, and you kind of did that rinse and repeat, and it was exhausting. So
Vicious cycle.
Yeah, came to the great state of South Carolina, where it's a little more slow and a little more chill. So, and the rest is history. But anyway, 80, like you get home 85 degrees while you're away.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to spend more money on electricity trying to get it to come back down to that 78 than you would if you just leave it at a consistent temperature.
Right.
That's fact.
So what's the consistent temperature?
Wintertime for us, if the heat comes on at 74, so the heat doesn't come off very often, and then in the summertime, right now we're at 74 and 73, bottom and top.
That's comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
75 around here.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's colder in there than it is in here. I'll be sweating.
Well, you
back
got all
here.
that fancy equipment in there.
Fancy.
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 Fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Oh, you want me to swing into some animal stuff?
Oh, lean into it, brother.
We didn't yesterday because we had your such fun ones.
We were
yesterday.
talking about some other animals.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
We're the Discovery Channel.
That's true. It's Shark Week's over now.
Oh,
did you watch
man.
any Shark Week?
I didn't.
No.
I mean, it's here.
No, it's over now. It was last week.
I'm just saying it's here.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a shark summer. Where do you want to go? You want to go an alligator? Let's start with this one. This does not have anything to do with animals. We got a caller on the line? Who do we got out there?
Lynn Haven Rob.
I was going to guess that. What's up, Rob? How are you, sir?
Good morning, guys. Afternoon.
Just
now.
slightly into the afternoon. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Just slightly.
Yep.
I had 2 questions. One about the thermostat.
Yes.
Y'all, that's crazy to put your thermostat on 78 degrees.
Unless you're just like...
My house stays, when I turn it up and leave, it goes to 75. At night, it goes to 70 to 69.
Yes, sir.
69's always good.
Yeah.
And with a fan blowing.
Yeah. Oh, you have to have the fan.
Yeah.
You have to have.
Yeah.
I just have to have a fan to sleep in general.
Right.
Yeah, but if you turn, and really, if you adjust it too much, if you put it on like 80, 81 during the day, and then by the time you get home and you turn it down and try and get it to 75, it just runs so much more. I don't think you really save that much.
That's 100% what I'm saying. Yeah, you're spending more in energy because it's, when you get it to a temperature and you have, a house that's got decent insulation and all that, you're going to be able to maintain that temperature pretty good versus, that's like what they say about light switches. It uses, it uses more energy turning it on and off than it does just leaving the light switch on. But
are y'all the same way with me, though? Because when it gets October, November, when it gets October, November, and we had that first 57-degree night or something, dude, it is the best sleep in the world.
I can smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott, well, you have to do that. What that is, that's the dust on your heating coils. So the best thing to do is like mid-October, on a good windy day, open your windows up and then turn your heater on and turn it actually on emergency heat, because if you have a heat pump, you want the coils to come on to burn all the dust off of them, and then you won't smell it, once it does kick on.
Yeah.
But at my house,
Pro tip.
I never turn the heat above 69 degrees.
Yeah.
And if it's really cold, when it goes below 30, I put it on 67.
Yeah.
That's as hot as my house gets during the wintertime is 67 degrees.
Yeah, I think we've got it right around that 68 mark for the heat to kick on. But I mean, you just sleep better when you're cold. It's just it's fact. And that's why they make blankets.
If you're cold when you get home, put on a sweatshirt, sweatpants, and some socks instead of burning that heat, because I don't like the dry heat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you more talking about, Jay, like just opening up your windows and letting the fall air come in?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, or I don't know what it is. It's just
as long as there's not a lot of pollen, I'm usually good with that. Yeah.
You just get a sense that it's cool outside and there's no air conditioner, running during the night. It's just a good night's sleep. That's all. That's all.
When I was a teenager living in a trailer, we didn't have heat. And I had a cup one time that was sitting on the nightstand and it froze.
Wow. Hey,
have to turn the water on so the pipes don't freeze, but no heat in the house. But that was a long time ago.
No doubt.
But my other question was, did y'all watch? I was watching a little bit of the golf on Saturday. The guy that was leading the tournament when he bogeyed the last hole. Was it McCarthy or
McIntyre?
Was it McIntyre? Okay, yeah, it may have been McIntyre. He shot like a 64 or something like that, and was 2 or 3 strokes up and bogeyed 18.
Gotcha.
Well, when he missed like a 3-foot putt.
Now that's the live tour.
He's one of those guys that straddles his ball and then kind of takes 2 or 3 steps forward, lining up. Well, when he lipped out, he was probably maybe 12 to 18 inches from the hole.
Mm-hmm.
He walks up to the hole and puts his feet on both sides of the cup and stands there.
Yeah,
and then walks away. Now, to me, that should be illegal to do, because I don't care how hard or how tight you got the greens cut. If you go out there and put your 2 heels on the side of that cup and basically make like a funnel, if you mishit that putt, you could, make that ball move just a little bit. Could you not?
They would have to be really, really soft greens for that to happen. And typically on tour events that you don't ever really see greens that are even remotely close to soft. Yeah. Just because that's the design of the course or what they do with the course leading up to the event.
Right. When they're rolling them and everything else, making them firm and they're cutting them tight. I got all that. But I just can't imagine that you can walk up there and basically stand, but that was, I just couldn't believe that he did that, because okay, you missed the putt, but
Well, and plus he's 12 to 18 inches away.
I don't understand what they're doing. What is that helping them do, lining that putt up now?
It doesn't. It's the same thing with plumb bobbing. Plumb bobbing doesn't actually do anything like scientific. And you're not allowed to stand like on your line, but I guess you're allowed to straddle. I don't know. It's like the aim point putting. There's so many different ways that, and if they actually work or not, it's more just for their mental routine to give them that. Because straddling each side of it, I mean, that's not really going to matter, because I guess you're trying to feel where the slopes are. I don't know. Yeah. I've always been a person. I look from the other side of the hole, I look from behind the hole, and I may look kind of the whole complex, and that usually can give me enough to know what the putt's going to do, or at least a good idea of it.
And then you got certain, I guess it's the routine, because you got certain guys that squat and they put their hands over their eyes to shade the sun.
Yeah.
And the plumb bobbing thing, when I was a kid, and was learning how to putt, is it said pick a spot, and then you could actually plumb bob that spot, and then you find a tree or something, so then when you do get squatted down and you're trying to line your ball up, you've got something that's, far off in the distance that you're trying to make your aim or whatever. But, I guess it's just kind of in your routine. That's what you're doing. But I never have figured out straddling it, walking halfway to the hole, and what that that's doing now other than slowing everybody down.
Yeah, the only time I ever aim is when I golf early in the morning and the greens are still wet, and you kind of see those little lines outside of that. Just stand up, knock it down, baby.
Hit it in the direction, because you're obviously, you're in the PGA Tour guys. This isn't a thing, but if your putter is opening or closing by a fraction, you're offline anyway. So that's got to be your first point anyway.
Putter's like Whataburger; it's always open.
That's it. That's it. Which is if you know that and you kind of slice putt, it can work out for you. But
aim and pace.
You caught any big fish lately behind your house?
No, I haven't really done any haven't done any fishing recently, just with flag football going on, kind of on and off on some treatments. Haven't got out there a little bit yet, but I'm going to for sure sometime soon. But yeah, we went out a couple weeks ago with one of the charters, Michael Cowart, and Liam caught a 26-inch trout, and that was probably his biggest highlight of his young fishing career, that's for sure. And then Ryan had the beginner's luck and caught a redfish 10 minutes in to her fishing. So, hey, fun stuff.
The thing to do is always when you go with those guys, learn what they're doing.
Yep. That's exactly
and if you're
right.
If you're fishing on a boat and somebody's catching fish and you're not, put your pole down and walk over and watch what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And see, because they may be 5 feet off of the bottom or 10 feet off of the bottom or laying right on the bottom, So, but anyway.
I went with a lot of not of that, and it took forever, and then I started doing that, and lo and behold, you start catching some fish. Hey, Lynn, Evan, Rob, we got to jump off on a break. We got Brad Law coming up next. We appreciate you giving a call, as always. You guys are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
I don't think there's one match under Triple H's regime that we remember anything. And this is going on for years now. I mean, this is the new wrestling, right? It's, the last match I really remember is Andre and Hogan, to be honest.
Hey, there you go.
So, there you go.
There's been a few in between, Mike.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. The rest of the day, possible thunderstorms and partly sunny and a temperature of 89 with wind 8 to 12 miles per hour out of the southwest. Mostly clear skies tonight and quite warm near 82. Partly sunny and a likelihood of thunderstorms and 89 tomorrow. This is your Tuesday's weather sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
You're a real estate agent, not a social media expert, but you absolutely need a professional social media strategy. Stay on top of mind, top of feed, and be in more places. Introducing SocialStackPro.com, a tool for real estate agents that inspires your content with the power of ChatGPT built right in. Try SocialStackPro.com for free. Focus on building your brand, building relationships, and post like a pro with SocialStackPro.com.
Hey there, business owners. Do you feel lost in a sea of numbers, struggling to navigate your day-to-day accounting? At Lighthouse CPAs, they specialize in guiding businesses to make more money and keep more of what you make. From bookkeeping to tax planning, they've got you covered. Plus, with their user-friendly software, managing your finances has never been easier. Spend less time on paperwork and more time growing your business. Call Lighthouse CPAs 850-785-5254.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. He has over 10 items in the express lane. He pays with checks and he doesn't return his shopping carts.
You have ruined groceries for me.
Now back to Ryan Mulvey and the Inside Drive. ESPN Northwest Florida. Not sorry.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We got him back on. We're going to talk a little Auburn sports, a little Auburn football action. That's the Director of Broadcast Operations for the Auburn Sports Radio Network, our good friend Brad Law. Brad, how are you doing on this beautiful Tuesday?
I'll tell you, we're doing great. It's hot. My son has just come back from a church camp, and so, he's tuckered out and tired, and this is the time of the year for church camps and hot sun and sunscreen and air conditioning in the car. Like, you're close to football when you get in your car and it takes 18 minutes to cool off. Football's getting close, and that's where we are.
The universal sign, no doubt about it. Before we dive into anything specific, want to ask you, EA College Football 25. If you did the EA play, you got the deluxe edition. If you got all the early stuff, you're able to play right now. But is that something you played? And are you? Is that going to be entering the law household for some action coming up?
Second part first, absolutely not. But only because I wish I had time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know when I would. Look, these guys who, these men with jobs and kids.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Play? I don't get it, and I don't say that in any sort of malicious way.
No, I understand.
I just haven't figued out yet how to do it with a job and kids. But but in my single days and pre-fatherhood, mid-20s and below, oh yeah, every year the new college football game came out, I had it, and it was dynasty mode, and it was hours and hours and hours of playing.
Yeah, and that's it's rocking and rolling. I kind of hear you on that same boat. And of course, my son has commandeered the PS5, so it's coming. But I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to play it. That's for sure.
Well, and that's kind of part too. Like, I know how much I played it when I was younger, and I don't know if you could argue that I turned out okay or not. But I know how much I played it, and I don't know if I'm ready. My son is 11. I don't know if I'm ready to hand it down to him, because I'd like him to eventually see the sunshine.
Yeah.
And I just don't know that would happen. So we'll have to see. We'll try to put a measure in place and figure that out.
There you go. Well, a lot of hype around it. Obviously, the college football world has opted in, and people are playing it, having fun, realistic, all that stuff. But let's talk some Auburn football. Auburn's currently 10th in the 24/7 composite rankings, certainly up from years prior. Is that the Hugh Freeze effect, or is it just more the optimism and state of Auburn football right now, or is that kind of hand in hand?
Is that, forgive me, Ryan, is that recruiting, or is that like a power poll?
No, recruiting. The 24/7 composite recruiting rankings. Currently 10th right now, and definitely up from years prior.
Yeah, well, I think that's Hugh Freeze. I think that's his approach, his knowledge of what it takes to recruit. And it's Auburn, and it's those two things coming together. And with all due respect to our friends in Oxford, he could recruit at a high level at Ole Miss, and there were great areas in recruiting.
Hey, Brad, we may have to try to get you on again. It's like really coming through super weird. So, hey, we'll give you it's like really jumbled, but we'll give you a call back and see if we can get that fixed up. If not, we'll let you get your son home and let him get some rest.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. All right, we'll try him again there real quick.
He's in that 3G area, if you will.
The Auburn Opelika area is, probably got some service that isn't the best in the world, because he's coming good, and then it sounds like he's talking. Remember the little megaphone when you were a kid that you could do like the robot voice and stuff like that? That's what that reminds me of, that just kind of a little bit. But, he's driving, and but yeah, I mean, like he was kind of saying, if you couldn't hear, he was talking about what Hugh Freeze kind of did at Ole Miss with recruiting, and I think he's brought that to Auburn and kind of pushed it up a little bit, because maybe the Auburn brand of football carries a little more weight than the Ole Miss brand of football. Brad, we got you back on?
Yep, I'm here.
Perfect. Sounds good. So I know you were I think I heard it kind of talking about, when he was at Ole Miss and the recruiting there, but now he's here at Auburn. Maybe Auburn has a little bit larger brand name, and he's kind of using that to his advantage and doing a great job.
And Coach Freeze is a relationship guy. He really knows how to connect with people, and that when you pair that with the Auburn family, and the fact that Auburn sells this idea of family more than business decision, like you find it at other places. That's just a really solid. I mean, it's like mixing sweet tea and lemonade. It's it naturally goes together, and so it's no surprise. And on top of all that, there are opportunities for playing time. And Auburn has won championships and competed for championships. You can have, and he has tapped into this, you can have the full life experience at Auburn in a way that and not sacrifice anything. You don't have to sacrifice competing for championships. You don't have to sacrifice future brand value. You don't have to sacrifice current present day personal value from an NIL perspective. So you can have the whole experience at Auburn, and he has tapped into that for sure.
Brad, how does the quarterback position look at Auburn this year? How deep are you guys in that quarterback position?
Peyton Thorne will be the starter, one of, I think, 8 returning starters in the SEC this year. And that's so you start there. That immediately puts you top half, I think, in the SEC when you have a returning starter that produced the way that he did. A lot of people bag on Peyton Thorne for the bowl game last year. And I would just submit to you, bowl games don't matter unless they're a playoff game at this point, unless they're extenuating circumstances. So, with an improved receiving core and improved offensive line and a returning running back room, that room, the quarterback room, is going to have the ability to make more plays than it did a year ago. Behind Peyton, you're probably looking at Hank Brown, who originally signed with Coach Freeze at Liberty, but he's tall, 6'4", 6'5", sturdy. What little we saw from him in the bowl game, again, you don't put your entire season's expectations on what you saw in a bowl game. You just don't. You just don't do that. But in that, what we saw of him, he threw the ball well, threw well at A-Day, smart kid, and has a powerful arm. Walker White is a true freshman and a highly touted Elite 11 type of true freshman who is on campus. If you're playing a true freshman, typically it's not a good thing, but he provides depth. And then Holden Gariner, who has seen action in a couple of games over the last 2 years, decided not to transfer. He's still around. So the room is 4 deep, 4 guys with strong arms, but you have a returning starter in Peyton Thorne, and he's the guy you look to lead the way this year.
Well, and as I'll kind of segue into Texas and Oklahoma coming into the SEC this year, obviously that's going to be a big rivalry that continues on. Who do you predict 5 years from now, as they move into the SEC, who their rivals may be as they're introduced to SEC football?
That's a great question. They've got their natural rivalries with Texas A&M. Texas and Texas A&M immediately becomes the third probably most heated rivalry in the SEC. I expect now that Nick Saban is gone from Alabama, the LSU-Alabama rivalry falls off a little anyway. I think Georgia and Texas could become a pretty big rivalry. As long as those two coaches, one with an offensive, one with a defensive sort of foundation, as long as those guys are in place, that could become a nice little rivalry, and they're not guaranteed to play every single year, so that can add a little bit of intrigue. For Oklahoma, aside from Texas, I think Arkansas makes sense. It's a border rivalry. I think that all those schools that are close, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Missouri, the geographic rivals make a lot of sense for Oklahoma. And as long as Josh Heupel is at Tennessee, Oklahoma-Tennessee is going to be an intriguing rivalry. For those who forgot, he was the quarterback for a national championship Oklahoma team 24 years ago. So, those are potentials for the next 5 years.
Who do you think out of those two teams, and somebody had posed this question earlier today, Texas and Oklahoma, who do you think is quicker to win an SEC championship, Texas or Oklahoma?
If it's not Texas this year, then I think it's Oklahoma. I think Texas is the first in a national championship game.
Gotcha.
But I kind of like what Brent Venables is doing at Oklahoma. I think his first-year struggles are tantamount to not having the type of defensive identity that he would like to bring to Oklahoma, and it takes time to develop that culture.
Gotcha.
Offensively, they're putting up 40, 50 points a game the back half of the year a season ago. And they've recruited well on the offensive and defensive lines for the last 2 years since the announcement was made that they were going to the SEC. SEC lines are different than Big 12 offensive and defensive lines. They just are. The caliber of defense you have to play in the SEC, he knows what that takes. And so, again, if it's not Texas this year, then I would say Oklahoma.
Yeah, There you go. I mean, and, here's the opportunity, right? They're both coming into the SEC, but now here we are on the cusp of the 12-team playoff, giving a little more opportunity to get in there, obviously, than years prior. So, I agree with you. I think Texas is more built to win now. Oklahoma is still kind of working on there, but they'll be right there. And SEC is going to be a lot of fun this year coming up, no doubt about that. So many changes, so many different things, new head coaches, new teams, teams building back up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And so where are we right now? Obviously, I think we're 38 days away from week 0, August 24th, the kickoff of college football. And then week 1's really obviously when it ramps up. But what's the schedule looking like for those who may not know? Like, what's Auburn's off season, or not off season, but as they gear up towards the start of the season? What's everything? What's all the football going on up there?
Yeah, they'll take the stage at Media Days later this week, and then camp will start, I guess, around the first week in August. I don't have the exact start date on that. I'm quite frankly going to the beach the last week in August, first part of August, or last week in July, first part of August. So
which beach you coming to?
I think that. Well, I'm going to your neighbors to the west a little bit. We're hitting the Alabama Gulf Coast.
There you go.
Now,
there you go.
Listen. If anybody down in Panama City wants to reach out and talk about a deal, I'm willing to talk. All right, I can be bought by Beach Views. Okay?
There you go.
That's my price.
There you go.
So I think that first full week in August, they're going to get camp underway, and newcomers always go a little bit, and then the freshmen come in, and a few days without pads, and then the pads go on, and they'll scrimmage a couple of Saturdays before the season starts, and then. And August 31st, Alabama A&M kick off on the Plains. It will be here before we know it. And as exciting an opening day as I can remember in a very long time, just because of all these new highly touted freshmen. How much are we going to see them? How quickly are we going to see them? How quickly will they make an impact? We start to answer those questions August 31st.
There you go. And what would you say the first real test will be for Auburn? I mean, obviously every game is important. They open up with Alabama A&M, but then Cal, they have the home and home. They played Cal at Cal last year. Now they got Cal coming home. Yeah. Is that going to be the first true test, or are we looking to the Arkansas and then Oklahoma coming into Jordan-Hare?
Yeah, I like that. I think it's a really good question, because if I was a coach, I'd tell you it's the first game against Alabama A&M.
Of course, absolutely.
But I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach, and I'm not going to answer it like a coach. I think they go in. I think they go in ascending order for the first 6 weeks of the year. I think game 2 against Cal is, you have to raise the bar a little higher than the week before against Alabama A&M. Week 3 is New Mexico, and while Cal is probably like 6 or 7 out of 10 times better than New Mexico, I think because of where the game falls on the schedule with Arkansas the next week, the mental test is a little greater for New Mexico. So you raise the bar a little higher. Then week 4 is Arkansas. That's your conference opener. Raise the bar a little higher. Then it's Oklahoma week 5, another step up. And then it's at Georgia week 6 in your first road game of the year. So, I don't know. True test, I don't know where on that spectrum it lands, but I think it's a true, like a step ladder, with every rung a little bit tougher the first 6 weeks of the year.
I like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Jumping right into it, obviously, like you said, Arkansas, Oklahoma coming in. And I'm assuming that's not – I'm assuming Oklahoma plays an SEC game the week prior to that as well, so probably not Oklahoma's first SEC game, but maybe their first SEC road game. And then there it is, October 5th, which is still hard to kind of believe that, it's not there in the middle of November. But it is what it is, and they'll be heading between the hedges there. And, Missouri, probably one of the tougher tasks as well. I mean, Georgia, Missouri, Kentucky, and then they get a little break with Vandy and Louisiana Monroe, and then Texas A&M and Alabama to run out the season. That's it's a tough task, but that's what you play for in the SEC, no doubt.
I'll say this: the Oklahoma game, I think, is one of the most important games for both teams this year, because it's Auburn's second conference game, a chance to start 5-0 if you've taken care of business the first 4. For Oklahoma, you're right. They have their SEC opener against Tennessee at home the week before. So if they win that game, they come to Auburn with a chance to make a 2-0 debut in the SEC. If they lose that game the week before at home to Tennessee, look out, because an 0-2 start for Oklahoma in league play could be disastrous. So that's a really, I think that's one of the more impactful, overarching, big picture, impactful games in the SEC all season long. And it'll happen in Week 5 at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Absolutely. Looks like it's going to be an afternoon kickoff somewhere between 2:30 and 3:30 Central Time. So, but what a nice little opening home stretch for the Auburn fans and everybody. I mean, obviously we've gone through the schedule, but you got 5 straight home games to open the season. What a treat up there in Jordan-Hare.
It is. It's 5 straight home games again. Operationally, puts you in a little bit of a chokehold.
No doubt.
You'd rather have like 2 or 3 home games, then a road game, then a couple more home, because like the trade-off isn't there. And I like focusing on the positive, but the month of October is brutal. There are no home games in October. You're at Georgia, at Missouri, at Kentucky, and then home against somebody, but or maybe there's another off week, but you're not home again until November. So if you do manage that 5-0 start, win all 5 of those home games, it's a great springboard. It really is. And that's the focus, is an opportunity to start in a really strong fashion. But then you're not back in front of your home folks until November.
November 2nd against Vandy. Yep.
Yeah, but we'll focus on the positive. It does give you a chance to start with a lot of momentum for the second half of your season.
No doubt. And I saw season tickets were sold out for the second straight year. One more question before I let you go, Brad. The video board in the north end zone that was approved back in February, is that something that's done, or is it under construction, or when does that going to be debuting there at Jordan-Hare?
It'll debut in 25.
Okay.
They will start work on it. Yep, they'll start work just the second the home schedule is over this year. And so I guess after the A&M game in the middle of November, they'll start construction. It will just be a video board to closely match the one in the south end zone. And so Auburn will have the largest total screen coverage in the SEC when it's completed. And they're also doing something very smart. I love it when you see a design with future plans in mind. It's going to look a little rough, frankly, the first year, because as soon as the 25 season is over, they're going to build it with open spaces, and it'll look a little erector set like the first year. They're going to fill in those spaces with premium seating and upgrades and things like that at the end of the 25 season. That'll be ready for, I think, 26, either 26 or 27. So there are additional seating opportunities and luxury spaces coming to that north end zone. A long overdue, much needed upgrade to the north end zone, and they'll get underway in November of this year.
Awesome. Brad, we appreciate your time. Get your son some rest after like you said, it's the hot summer. There's camps. We're getting ready for football, and that only means one thing. It'll be here right around the corner, 38 days from now. Brad, we appreciate your time as always, and 2 weeks from now, I'm sure we'll be getting really ramped up, camp opening up, and it'll be right around the corner.
Appreciate it as always, guys. War Eagle to the Auburn fans on the coast.
There you go, War Eagle, and enjoy your trip down there to the Alabama coast. A much-deserved vacation, no doubt about it. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
America's team plays here.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's number 10.
The Atlanta Braves on ESPN Northwest Florida. Charlie Morton, Max Fried, and Chris Sale lead the Braves' dominant pitching rotation.
That's 18 up, 18 down.
Sponsored by Panama City Toyota, Ellis Agency Insurance, Bestway Portable Buildings, PCB Hobby, and ESPN Northwest Florida.
Got him swinging, strike 3.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best. That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
You hear it first. Sports talk right now. Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
I know it all seems a bit overwhelming at first.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
Something makes me think you'll get used to it.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Brandon Ayuk, breaking news. It's kind of been a saga off season. You know, it's kind of the saga when you have people that think, you know, they always want and you get to keep moving these numbers up. And he's officially requested a trade. Now, obviously, there's been rumors of trades and all that stuff, but he said he still wanted to be in San Francisco. But San Francisco does not want to pay him $30 million a year to be a wide receiver. So the trade talks or the contract extension talks have officially expired. However, he is still under contract. I think he's due to make $19.3 million this year. It's his last year of his first contract, and typically when you have a higher performing wide receiver, running back, whatever it may be, this is when the extension typically happens. But I think the Niners understand they're in a great position with the personnel they have. They've drafted very well over the years, and you know, here we are. The Niners aren't going to pay him $30 million, and if he doesn't want to come off that and go somewhere else, I guess he's officially asking for a trade.
Officially official now, so we'll see how long it takes for him to end up being a Jacksonville Jaguar.
That would be interesting, or a Pittsburgh Steeler. We'll see. But, you know, he's obviously a huge weapon for our offense. He was one of Purdy's top targets last year, but we did have a good draft class this particular year, and who knows what they'll get for the trade if they do, in fact, trade him. We obviously note next year is a big year as Brock Purdy will be eligible for his contract extension, so he can officially start making over $1 million a year, where he's still in the 900,000s, which is pretty crazy. So, but hey, we'll see. The only thing that I'll be upset about is I'm going to have to get Liam and Beth a new jersey.
They both got Ayukers?
They both got Ayuks. Now, he's got a Kittle from way back in the day, but that thing's been washed probably 100 times.
With the with Steven Stamkos going to the Nashville Predators, I now only have, I probably have 11 or 12 jerseys that are not like Hall of Famers or anything like that. I probably got 4 or 5 Hall of Fame jerseys.
Nice.
Not like actual Hall of Fame jerseys, but like Mike Jordan.
I know what you mean.
No, I don't got Steph Curry. I got Klay Thompson. He's not with them no more.
Yeah.
So my only current NBA basketball jersey is they're no longer with each other. So I do have Acuna, but obviously, what's the point of wearing that?
Yeah, he's not Acuna Matataing anything right now except rehabbing that leg.
I feel bad for him, man.
Yeah, twice.
Yep,
twice. It's just, and you wonder when you have that kind of stuff, is it going to be a reoccurring thing? You know, are you going to? And ACL tears are, you know,
he's already answered it once, right?
Yeah,
it's reoccurred. I think the issue for Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to have to, you're going to have to stop, and I don't know how you do this because it's mentally like that's just the way that you play the game. You're going to have to stop trying to be so twitchy out there, especially on the base paths. Now, the first way that he hurt his other ACL was in the outfield, trying to get a ball that was over his head. And then this one was on the base paths. I mean, neither one of them were any contact. Obviously, we're talking about the sport of baseball here, but
you could have contact at the plate.
So yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's just gonna have to tone it down a little bit on the base paths, but that's part of what makes him, that's what helped him win the most valuable player last year. So
no doubt about it. And the ACL pops, I feel like we see, and this may just be speaking without knowledge, but I feel like you see more ACL tears non-contact than you do ACL tears with contact. You seem to have other damage when you have contact knee injuries, but the ACL just seems to be fragile all the time. And fragile. You take one step wrong and maybe get the bubble wrap back out.
Yeah.
Keep yourself protected. But that's what I was saying. Your ACL could just tear at any moment from going in the wrong direction. Same thing with that old Achilles tendon back there.
Oh, the Aaron Rodgers, the Kirk Cousins.
The pop, the roll-up. Ooh, that sounds terrible.
Fruit roll-ups.
Fruit roll-ups are good. Fruit by the foot, fruit roll-up.
Fruit roll-up, I think at this day and age. Younger me would probably say fruit by the foot.
Yeah, more work to get. They're both, I mean, you can get the roll-up and you can have a tough go.
But you can also just bite into it.
Well, you got to get the plastic off first.
Get the plastic off, yeah. But, I mean, if you treat your body like the ocean.
Yeah. Did you fill it with plastic?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, I want to ask you about, obviously, the MLB draft went down. It's a gajillion rounds. But the first round, the Braves took Cam Caminiti. He's a high school pitcher out of Saguaro High School in Arizona. He's a left-handed pitcher, 6'5", 195, signing bonus of $3.56 million. This was one of the gentlemen we had on during Masters Week, Chris Gay. He's a sports reporter. Big Braves guy, writes about Braves all the time. I saw he had sent something to me. He says, according to the MLB prospect rankings, Caminiti was number 15 overall, top high school pitcher on the board. Atlanta has no top-level left-handed pitchers in the minors. Add the fact that
nothing in the minors.
Yeah, add the fact that Max Fried likely signs elsewhere in the offseason. Atlanta will still have Chris Sale for 2 more years after this, and then we'll have a club option for 2027. So this will give Caminiti time to develop in the minors before Atlanta will need him. What do you think about the pick and that kind of whole sentiment and strategy?
One thing I don't. All right, so if I were to order the drafts and how much I care about them, the NFL draft is the only one that I actually like. I'm like, all right, this matters. Now, I think the wave that we're seeing in Major League Baseball with these guys kind of getting to the league a little bit quicker might help me care a little bit more, but this guy's a high schooler.
Yeah,
so
a lot of high schoolers,
you're going to have to, which is interesting this year. You saw a lot more. I think the first pick out of high school wasn't even until the 9th pick. Cam Caminiti getting picked at 24th as the 15th rated prospect there. Kind of goes to show you that the training that they're getting at the collegiate level is starting to be upgrade. It's an upgrade to what it was back in the day, and it's a more professional environment as well. And these guys are getting paid to some extent now.
Yeah.
So that helps out a little bit, and it gives the incentive for those kids to go to college. I like the picks. Honestly, I like anything that Alex Anthopoulos does, but we are not loaded in the minors, and so we need a lot of help in that department, and that's just going to take time, man. That's all that is going to take is time.
Time and development, no doubt about
TND.
TNT goes back to some of the other things we've been talking about there.
Man, today it's been not even on purpose. No intent. There was no intent besides I just like shouting out acronyms right there. And
That's it. It works. All right.
Just like the thermostat, baby.
Yep. And, some
keep
people,
it at the same degrees as Lynn Haven Rock.
There you go. Good times by all. Are you going to be watching the All-Star game, or are you going to be playing EA college football? I probably already. Yeah, both at the same time.
Yeah, more than likely, All-Star game's going to take a little bit of precedence there. And I'm not trying to, I don't think that it's possible, not trying to burn out. I go back to a question that you asked Travis that I didn't chime in on, but I'll say that the game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and be like, man, it was sure worth the wait. You know what I mean? Like, no, I wish that it was here the whole entire time. And the game is great. Don't get me wrong. It's just like, 10 years? Like, if you would have told me this is the game that I'm getting after 10 years, I would have expected it to come with a jersey. No, I'm joking.
With your own NIL deal.
Yeah, there you go.
That's $600.
Ooh, come on now. Give me that.
There you go. On the
Maybe one of the Arch Manning ones.
Yeah.
50 to 60,000.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I'll promote it for you guys.
Definitely.
You need help in that department, don't you?
That's where they lack. They lack in promotion to EA Sports, that is. And, Madden will be out right around the corner as well. It'd be interesting to see if any of the gameplay stuff from EA College Football will correlate over to Madden as well, because they kind of have little upgrades from year over year, but we'll see if that pushes Madden to do anything slightly different. But All-Star Game coming up tonight, I believe 7 p.m. Central Time is the coverage. On the American League side of things, your starters, we've talked about them, but just to remind everybody, catcher Adley Rutschman from the Orioles, first base Vlad Guerrero Jr. from the Toronto Blue Jays, Marcus Semien, second base Texas Rangers, home man there, third base Jose Ramirez from Cleveland, Gunnar Henderson from the Baltimore Orioles, two outfielders from the New York Yankees, starting Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, and we'll also be back there with Stephen Kwan from the Cleveland Guardians. You got Yordan Alvarez will be the DH, and then Corbin Burns is the starting pitcher for the American League. Over there on the National League side, you got William Contreras from the Milwaukee Brewers, Bryce Harper at first base for the Philadelphia Phillies, Ketel Marty in the second base position from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Alex Baum, who surprised a little people yesterday in the home run derby, third base Trey Turner, shortstop from the Phillies, Christian Yelks from the Milwaukee Brewers, Jurickson Profar from the Padres, and then you got Teoscar Hernandez from the Dodgers, and then of course Shohei starting in the DH position, and then the rookie Paul Skeens taking the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He'll face a pretty impressive lineup there in his first outing as an All-Star participant in his rookie. What do you think? Who do you think wins the game? They don't have, and there's nothing on the line anymore with this game, right?
No, but I always root for the National League. That's just where my heart's always been. The American League tends to find their ways to win this game. I'm gonna go 3-2 National League All-Star Game. Or National League team tonight.
There you go. 3-2.
Hey, also interesting, guys. So yesterday when we were talking about the home run derby, my finals prediction, the last two guys was Pete Alonso and Teoscar Hernandez. And obviously Pete Alonso didn't make it, but shout out to Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah. He was my kind of like long shot guy, just like I don't want to say no name because all of these guys have big names and they're all stars, but who is that guy? And that was Teoscar Hernandez for me. 14th Dodger to be in the home run derby, first one to ever win it.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I got to start listening to you just a little bit more.
Oh, no, because that wouldn't have really helped you outside of the
winning
odds.
The winning category. Yeah. Because I think Teoscar was a little bit further.
But I was going Polar Bear Pete to win it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
My long shot guy was Teoscar Hernandez. And also, I was not a fan of last night.
No?
Go back to the outs. Just go back to the outs. Let us enjoy these home runs. And then this bonus stuff. I don't even know how the heck they're getting the bonuses. Like, well, you automatically get a 3-out bonus. And then if you hit one 425, we'll award you a 4.
Why don't you just give them all the same? Yeah.
Stop it. First and second rounds, ain't no daggum bonuses. You get 10 outs. That's it. That's all she wrote. Yeah. Let us enjoy the home runs and then get you a good pitcher. Like, let's just go back to how it was because that was good. All this time and 40
it's drawn
pitches.
Out. It's brutal.
Yeah, exactly.
It's brutal.
Like there's really no reason for the home run derby. What that thing lasted? Well, I think it started at 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so with it starting at 8, I think it got over maybe 10:45, 11.
It was close to 3 hours, I think.
Yeah, so like
that's insane.
Let's get back to
that's longer than a Major League Baseball game.
Just go back to how it was in 1998, especially with Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. Get the best home run hitters available. Obviously, some of those guys don't want to do it, and that makes sense. But I'm just not a huge fan of how it played out last night. I will say the final round did bring some drama.
Yeah.
With the little bonus outs and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. No. Hey. It just seems like one of those things we change it, we make it longer, we add more because they want to make more money, and that sometimes can get in the way of what it's all about. MLB All-Star Game MVP. Odds to win that one. This would be a fun one for Jay to hit him with the.
Who are the odds?
So, who do you think's got the best odds to win the All-Star Game MVP?
Shohei
Ohtani at plus 900.
Then Aaron Judge.
At plus 1,000.
Then I would go Bryce Harper.
Are you looking at this list?
No.
I know you're not. Yeah, Bryce Harper plus 1,200.
Wow.
Phillies, yeah. You got the first three right. Can you keep it going? You didn't give yourself the dings. You got to give yourself at least one ding for that. Getting the 3 odds in a row on that one.
Man, who would be after that?
I'll give you a hint. He was in the home run derby. Was he? I think he was. Yeah.
Adolis Garcia?
No. But
Gunnar
Henderson. You got it. Plus 1,300. And then the name I think you were going to say at plus 1,400.
I was going to say Adolis Garcia.
Oh, no. I thought I heard you say it, but maybe not.
Juan Soto?
Yes.
Juan Soto. Yes, I was going to say Soto, yeah.
Plus 1,400 in that one. And then
you said home run derby. That's what, it took me off track.
Threw you off, yeah. And then you got Yordan Alvarez at oh my gosh, it's 12:57. Yeah. Enjoy the All-Star Game tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Underdogs coming up at 4 p.m.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
I follow a lot of soccer and basketball on Instagram, and you have some of these NBA players that are like, whoa, man, the Europeans, they're working on fundamentals at a young age where we're just going to tournaments and